You're listening to Empire Podcast, Empire Praha Podcast, episode number 2. Today I have Kristina, our senior teacher. We're going to be talking about running. So Kristina, welcome.
Hi, I'm happy to be here.
Kristina is from Bulgaria, from Varna or Burgas?
Burgas. Oh, no, Varna is our rival city.
Yeah. So she's from Burgas, and I always confuse these two. Varna and Burgas.
Unforgivable.
Yeah, unforgivable. I know. And she's been with Empire for ages. For how long? 5, 6, 7 years?
7 years.
7 years, I think it is.
Maybe,
It's been a long time. We've been cooperating together for many years. And she's like an expert in running. And she does a lot in her free time about running, and I know that you go, Kristina, every weekend to some race. The whole summer is pre-booked, as I have seen before. Is that right?
Unfortunately not this last year, but previous years I have always had some plan, which month, what race, where it will be, and you need to have it pre-booked, prepared and planned in advance, because these are so-called ultra races that I do, so it's more than 30 and more kilometers, so you cannot just go and run them. And it's in the mountains, so you really need to be prepared for that.
So what I wanted to say, because you got to ultra races these days, this is what you do, but you had to find a way to these ultra races, and you had to go, like, I assume, step by step and learn how to run properly, how to start, So can you tell us about when you started running? How was it? What was the most difficult thing? What was easy for you?
Well, for me it was, I kind of skipped a couple of steps because I used to run a lot when I was a child, and then somehow, school, university, it just goes like under the radar, but so I started running because my flatmates were running, and this was kind of the first step, and I did this like run walk, but I did like longer periods of running and shorter periods of walking, which is not recommended for absolute beginners. For absolute beginners, you'll do something like you'll start with walking for 5 minutes, running 1 minute, and like that for, let's say, half an hour or 20 minutes, and little by little you will increase the running time and decrease the walking time, and it's just I usually run in Ladronka Park, so I had it split in my head.
So this is where we can find you?
Yeah, that's where you can find me. Oh, actually, lately I have moved to Petrin because it's hilly and it's a better preparation for me for these races.
But it's close. Yeah.
It's close, yeah. And so you can just do it as it suits you. It depends on the park you run in. So you can split the park in a couple of sections, whatever is best for you, and then run, walk. And with time, I just got more ambitious, and I wanted to run more. And then I managed to cover 5 kilometers, but 5 kilometers was not enough, so I did 10, which was really hard the first time. I had to motivate myself the whole time. I was like, yeah, you can do this, running machine.
Yeah.
And things like that. And then 10 kilometers seemed to not be enough either. So I moved to half a marathon, which is 21 kilometers, if somebody doesn't.
Oh, that would kill me. That would just kill me.
Yeah. And then it kind of, I decided to start trail running, which was way more fun.
Oh, right.
Because you never know. You never know what you're going to see, what's going to happen to you. If you get stuck in the mountains, you are stuck in the mountains.
Have you ever got lost?
Luckily, no. Not at least during a race. Maybe a little bit during a training, but It's okay because I usually have a map, either printed or in my watch, so I can easily find my way back. And let's just to say that Czech mountains are not that complicated to get out of. If you get lost, yes, there are always like countless different paths, and somehow you get to where you're headed.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, but let's get back to the start. So you said that you had to start with walking, running.
Yes.
Then you started running per se. Then you eventually increased kilometers. But maybe I'm more interested in what do you do before, what do you do after, how to even motivate yourself. So let's start with did you have some sort of let's say rituals before the run, or something that would remind you to go running?
I've always had a lot of energy, so maybe that's not the case with a lot of people, but it was very difficult for me to get rid of this energy. Just I couldn't fall asleep at night because I felt like full of energy. So running for me was a way how to just spend it all. And physically, yeah, exactly. And then I don't really have any rituals. I do, however, sometimes require motivation because it's not always nice outside. The weather is bad. It's cold. It's rainy.
Too hot in the summer.
Oh my God, yeah, that's just killing me. I always remember the feeling I have after a run, or even during a run. I just feel so great, even when I suffer, which contradicts itself. But usually the first kilometers are kind of give you a false feeling.
That you can do it.
It's because you're tired or something, but even mentally, like running helps a lot with just relaxing mentally, you just feel so good.
Yeah. So what helped you in your start to continue running was that feeling that you have after the run or before or during the run.
Yes, even. Definitely. It's just you feel relaxed and calm, and I feel one with myself.
All right. Okay. How about is there anything that if I start running, is there anything I should avoid, or anything that I should learn first?
Well,
that I should be aware of, not to, for example, damage your body during the run.
Well, definitely, if you start, don't start with too much. A lot of people think, I'm going to start running, so they go to the park and start running, and without walking at all, without taking any break, or without pacing themselves. And they get tired after 5 minutes and they can't breathe. And they're like, oh my God, this is terrible. I will never do this to myself again. But this is all bad, because you cannot jump into the cold water when you are not prepared.
Yeah.
So you need to take steps. Really, if you are just starting, start with walk, run. And at the very beginning, don't do a lot of time. It's just 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, the fastest way to get an injury is to run a lot without preparation, without the physical preparation. If you regularly go to the gym, then you have some basis. Like, you can expect that you maybe can run 1 or 2 kilometers without a problem. But if you are physically inactive and you decide, I'm gonna start running, don't do that. Don't do that. And also, it's good not to eat 2 hours before, especially if you eat meat.
Oh, yeah.
You may feel like throwing up, or just heavy,
Yeah. All
And
right.
don't forget to warm up.
Okay, what do you do to warm up?
I run, but I run slowly. I run slowly, although I run slow and fast. Slow. For example, 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers, I run just slowly. Or in winter, because when I run in winter, you go outside, and running slowly doesn't help to get you warmed up. So I would do, for example, jumping jacks or burpees, or there is this so-called active stretching, which is much better than static one. Unfortunately, I cannot show you what I mean.
You can show me, but no one else will see it.
Guys, sorry, you cannot see it. Because the static stretching is actually worse to do before running. If you pull a muscle, then it constricts your movement while running. So things like that, like jumping jacks, burpees, just jumps in general, or walking very fast up stairs, things like that.
Okay. Do you do stretching after running?
Yes, I personally do yoga type of stretching. It's great to stretch, and I have a thing called foam roller, which also
we use it in the gym.
Great. So for those of you who go to the gym, great for massaging your muscles if you don't have time or money to spend on going to a massage therapist. So that's great for after. Although foam roller can be good for warming up your muscles before, but don't overdo it.
Yeah, absolutely. So how about nutrition? I mean, you mentioned that we shouldn't eat 2 hours before the run, which I have, frankly speaking, tried, and it wasn't good. It didn't do me any good. I felt like puking, exactly. And so what is a good nutrition? What is beneficial for your body when you go running regularly? How do you protect your joints, for example? Because they get they get used a lot, right? So,
yes.
do you take special vitamins? Or?
I take vitamins, not to advertise anything right now. But I take.
You can say vitamin C or vitamin B12.
No, I take. It's one pill. Complex. It's complex things, but for example, in winter, I always take vitamin C after a run because then your immune system is weakened. And there's a higher chance that you get sick. But what I do, because a lot of people complain that their throat hurts, and I'm a teacher, right? So I need my voice. So what I do is I either make ginger tea and let it cool down and take it with me on the run, because, as you know, ginger warms up your throat. Or I just put, I take water and I just put a little bit of ginger powder in it. Works, same thing. So that helps in winter. Otherwise, well, definitely you should avoid heavy food, fried food. The best is like fruit, vegetables, nuts, not to mention, of course, you can eat cooked food. You can eat things that you like.
Just not before the run.
Just not before the run.
Okay,
yes. And if there's something unhealthy that you really want to eat, the best time to eat it is after the run. It's similar when you go to the gym,
yes,
right?
Absolutely. Because then the body can process that food much faster and much better.
Exactly.
Although, of course, it's not ideal to eat a burger.
Yes.
So I've done the gym. Now I can eat a lot. I can compensate with the calories.
Exactly. This is something that you shouldn't do with any exercise. Okay, I ran, so let me eat all the McDonald's French fries and
ice cream.
Ice cream. Oh, I don't give up my ice cream.
Well, so let's move to the races, to ultra races that you do. Is it true that sometimes, actually, because when you run 30 kilometers, I assume that it must take ages. How long does that ultra race take?
Well, it really depends on the profile of the race.
So if you go in the mountains.
If you go in the mountains, I usually do a maximum half a marathon on asphalt, and then the rest, half marathon and more, I do like on a trail. It's just more interesting. It's not boring at all. Yeah. You always need to see like where you're stepping, but to come back to your question, it really depends exactly what the profile, how much elevation there is. Because there are some races that go up at the beginning, like let's say if it's a 30-kilometer race, maybe like 15 kilometers will be like
up the hill.
Wow. Not all the time. Like there are short, I don't know, paths where it's kind of slightly downhill, but the general direction is uphill, and then it's downhill from there. And there are races where it's like up, down, up, down, up, down. And it also depends whether there are paths or you just go straight through the woods, or like it really depends on the organizers, the race. So if the course is runnable, as we say, then it could be fast. It could be very fast. Yeah.
For example,
me personally, or I suppose like it could be in the sort of like 2.5-3 hours. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's
fast.
Yeah.
Not like my 30 minutes, but 5 kilometers, 30 minutes.
But it's so much fun. For example, I would recommend for anybody who wants to try ultra, but they don't want to go abroad. Krkonošská 50 is a really fun, runnable course.
Okay.
Yeah. There's an option of 21 kilometers if you want to start slow. Or
start with your 5 kilometers.
Start with your 5 kilometers.
Or 3, maybe.
Exactly.
And maybe next year, we'll see. All right.
Yeah.
What about the equipment? What is important? I mean, people say that it's important to have, the right shoes, or it's important to have some sort of, the right clothes. So what's important actually?
The most important thing is you. I would say.
On my headphones.
Like your equipment. That's it. What's in your head? We'll start with that. So your attitude towards running, and then we'll start with definitely shoes. Comfortable shoes. So to be honest, I recommend first going to one of these shops where there's a treadmill. They analyze the way you run, how you step exactly, and then they recommend shoes for you. From then on, if you want to buy your shoes on the internet, that's entirely up to you, but comfortable shoes, that's the most important thing. And then it really depends on what you run. If you just run to the park, like simple leggings and a t-shirt or shorts is enough. Then it depends how long you run. If you run for a long time, then it's good to take, I would recommend the so-called soft flask. Because once you drink all of your water, you can just fold it and put it in your pocket.
Nice, yeah.
And then if you go to like very long races, then there are vests or belts where you can put food, which is actually very important. If you run more than an hour or 40 minutes for some people, you should have some food, like some like energy bar. Some people don't have food, but they have energy gels. It's good to combine both if you run longer distances. And you just need to put all these things somewhere, or for example, you run and maybe it will rain. You have seen the forecast, so to put somewhere your raining coat or jacket. So That's,
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's up to what you have. Just feel comfortable.
Feel comfortable. I would say avoid cotton things because they
soak up and they keep the
exactly
water
they
in.
keep the water. They get heavy, and every gram matters if you if you run long distances. And plus, actually, you can get a cold.
Oh yeah,
You can get a cold because the sports clothes they are made in such way or from such material that it dries very fast.
Yeah.
And which is good for you. Yeah, which is good for you. And the cotton ones, they just stick. It's uncomfortable. For guys especially, even with normal running t-shirts, they can get bloody nipples. Like it's really bad.
With the long run, yes.
With long runs, yeah. So luckily I have.
So you use a plaster there.
Yeah, my friends use plasters. Just in case.
Well, all right. Well, that was very interesting. Thank you very much. Our time is running out, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It was great talking to you.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll have another episode on running some other time.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about this anytime.
All right.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, thanks. So this was Empire Podcast. My name is Branyo, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.